and that means this is someone really good, someone that the managing director really needs to come and talk to now. So on the other side of things, if you're talking to someone and you're thinking, hey, do you know what, this, you know, especially at consumer fairs, this guy is just an enthusiast in whichever particular niche we are. He's an enthusiast, he's not going to buy now, but he's just passionate about boats or whatever it is we're selling, and just wants to chat. Then there's two ways you can do it. You can use teamwork, and you can have another hand signal that would suggest, come on guys, help me out here. I would suggest crossing your hands behind your back whilst you talk to the person. If anyone else sees that, they can come along and they can go, John, I'm really sorry to interrupt, your 2:15 appointment's here, you're going to have to go and speak to the guy, make the interruption, and you go, I'm so sorry, it's been really good talking to you, I'm off. Failing that, if you're standing there with your hands behind your back for ages and everyone's ignoring you or they're busy, then you're going to have to finish that conversation yourself. And you just need to be really abrupt and say, you know, thanks, it's been really great talking to you, I'm so sorry, I've got to get off, I'm really busy. Here's our brochure, and end the conversation that way. And you do need to be quite forceful, and there are ways to do that. So in this section we've worked out how to get the information about people's buying power and what to do with it. The important thing is, of course, when you have a really good prospect, you give them the time and you give them the attention that they need, and preferably you get them the highest ranking person on the stand that can talk to them and really nail that sale for you. Module 6 is how to turn leads into sales. You might be at that exhibition and you're not selling right there and then, you're just trying to make appointments for your salespeople to follow up, and in the business to business model this is most likely. Now it's important when you get generating leads that you're going to generate good quality leads. A business card is not a lead. A business card is just a bit of paper with someone's email address on it and phone number. That is not a lead. A lead is, this is Mr. Smith, he wants you to call him at 2:30 next Tuesday and he wants to talk about your 2011 model. That is a good lead, but we can make that better in the next section. So to generate good leads, everyone in the team needs to know exactly what's expected of them. For a prospect to say, give me a ring sometime, that's not good enough. We need to tie them down to a time. When's a good time to call? We need about half an hour to talk about this. So, you know, when would you have that time so I can make a booking? That way, you've got it in their diary and then expecting your call, and it makes it so much easier for the person who's following up on the leads to get that person into that conversation. So if we're going to build great leads, we're going to add in even more information than this. Now, to cold call someone the following week after an exhibition is a really difficult job. They're not there in front of the product anymore, their mind's on other things. So you need to give the person, whether it's you or someone else, as much advantage as you can to build rapport with that person, rebuild the connection that they made on the day, so that you will remind them of the kind of nice feeling and the nice thoughts they had towards your company. And the way that we do that is by building rapport with them again. So you need to give that person as much ammunition as you can. So when you talk to the prospect, as soon as they're gone, you write down every bit of information you can think about that person. Have they got kids? Does he like golf? Has he got a suntan and just been on a nice vacation somewhere? Write all that down. Really important, because that way when the sales caller is phoning up the next day, they've got something to latch on to. They've got something to talk about. Oh, how was your trip to Vegas last weekend? Get that conversation going. It really makes such a difference to that cold calling experience. I've included in the package for you to download some contact forms. I think there's 8 or 10 to a page, and you just print them off, put them on a clipboard, so that when you speak to your prospects, you can quickly write down your appointments. You've got name, email address, phone number, time of appointment in there, but there's also a big empty space for you to put all this additional information that will help the sales chaser build rapport when they phone them up the next day. I've included this as a Word file, so you can adapt it and change it any way you want. It's not a PDF. So if you need to change a couple of the bits, then you can. I hope you find it useful. Did you know that 75% of leads at an exhibition are not even followed up on? As a business owner, I'm sure you find that a shocking statistic. All that time and effort wasted. You should plan very carefully the structure of your follow-ups, whether it's an email followed by a phone call a few days later, or a letter. You should plan it very carefully to the day, so that you assign people on this day, you phone these people, and make sure it happens, because you leave it to chance, things get forgotten about. The excitement of the exhibition is past and spent, and it can just get left behind, and then you've just wasted your time. Because really, if you're only generating leads at the exhibition, it's the follow-up is the part that pays off. That's the crunch. Generating the leads is actually the easy part. The follow-up is the hard part. But at least you've given them as much help as you can. Really good solid leads with as much backing up information as possible. I'm sure that you'll convert them at a really good rate. So we're on to module 7, and this is a script writing exercise. So what do I mean by a script? Well, what I mean is a script is a selection of approaches that your team can use for every different part of the interaction with the prospect. So for every given, for your openers, for your engagers, you've got several options, 3 or 4 options for them to use. It is not a prescriptive script that every single person has to say the same and act like robots. That's not what it's about at all. So we're going to create the script now based on your knowledge of your business. And then you're going to brief that into your staff, and you'll do a refresh on the first morning of your exhibition. So everybody knows what they're going to say. You'll find they're so much more confident, they know how they're going to approach people, and if you're fully committed to this, it'll really work. So at the end of the first day of the exhibition, you'll review the script, and then you'll go through it as a team, and any bits that didn't work, that's absolutely fine, you just draw a line through them. And then the bits that did work, the openers that really engage people quite easily into a conversation, then you share that amongst the team so that the next day they can use them. And you might find people who put their own slant on them and tweaked it here and there, and that's perfect, that's exactly how it should be. So on the second day, you'll have all the knowledge that you've gained on the first day, and you'll have shared as a team, and you'll know which approaches, which closes are the best ones to use for that particular product. And by the third day, you'll be absolute masters at it, and if you've got a 4th or a 5th day of the exhibition, you probably won't even need the script by then. It's done its job, you know exactly how to approach people, how to engage people, and your team will just be full of confidence and enthusiasm and ready to go out there and just do it. Okay, so now we're going to get started on the script. So open up your workbooks. First thing we're going to do is we're going to write down your openers. So as a team, you're going to come up with your best 3 or 4 openers that you wrote down in the questioning section earlier. These are the things, the questions you're going to ask people that's going to stop them walking and start them talking to you. So go through, pick 3 or 4 of the absolute best ones as a team and write them down in the script. So next we're going to write down your introducers. So if you remember, these are the questions that you're going to ask people that are going to tell them something about your product, that are going to introduce your product into the conversation and get them talking about it. So as a group, read out all the questions that you wrote down in the section earlier and pick the best 3 to 5 and then write them in that section. So now we've written down your introducing questions, and these are the questions that give some information about your product, but in the form of a question that will engage someone. Now you need to preempt the prospect or the customer that might have some resistance to this, and then have an answer ready for that. So in a minute we're going to pause, and then you're going to discuss any kind of resistance they might have to your question. And if they say, oh, I wouldn't be interested in that because of whatever reason, then you need to go, well, have you thought of the second reason? So you're going to come back with your rebuttal. And really important to get these ready and practiced so that you're just armed, you come back with them straight away, and then that way you can overcome their resistance. So discuss the resistance and then write down a rebuttal for it so that you can